Hello, and welcome to our Nuts and Bolts informational sessions, brought to you by the Pennsylvania, Ohio, and West Virginia Employment Resources Consortium, otherwise known as POWER. POWER consists of 11 regional law schools dedicated to promoting best practices in law school career development and assisting in the career success of all of our students and alumni within their legal communities and within the profession as a whole. The Nuts and Bolts series is a collaborative effort to educate our students and alumni on some professionalism basics, to supplement your legal studies, and help you develop into a well-rounded lawyer. My name is Kate Kristoff, and I'm the Recruiting and Analytics Manager at Cincinnati Law. Today's session will cover interview follow-up. We're so glad you're here. Let's get started. After an interview, it is customary to send thank you notes. Each interviewer should receive an individual thank you note. You may consider sending a thank you note to the firm administrator who set up interviews, especially if you had significant interaction with the individual. Always send your thank you note within 24 hours of the interview, ideally the same day. You may want to follow up your email thank you note with a handwritten thank you note. If you send handwritten thank you notes, use professional stationery and make sure your handwriting is legible. The content of your thank you note should be brief and individualized for each recipient. Mention a topic that was discussed in your interview to avoid being overly generic. Be sure to communicate your enthusiasm and interest for the position. A thank you note is an excellent opportunity to add any significant information you may have forgotten to say or that you didn't get a chance to address in the interview. Invite a request to add additional information and provide grounds to follow up. Finally, be sure to spell everyone's name correctly, including the company's name. Errors of that sort can be an immediate disqualifier from the position. Following up after an interview. When the application period, established timeframe, and deadlines have passed, and it's been at least 10 days after your interview, it is reasonable to want to check in on the status of your candidacy. After a first-round interview, a good starting place is your career services office. Identify the member of your career services team who has a relationship with that employer. Your career services representative may know the hiring timeline, whether other students have received callbacks and/or offers, and be able to share that information with you. Your career services office may also be able to reach out to that employer and get an idea of where they are in the hiring process. After a second or third round interview, or following up on a job interview for a position not posted by your career services office, you're going to want to reach out to the employer directly for the status of your candidacy. If the process goes on for a while, don't follow up more than twice a month. You've heard back from an employer and you didn't get the job. It is best practice to respond to the news with an email thanking them for the opportunity to learn more about the organization and for their letting you know about their decision, even though it was not the outcome you wanted. Thank the employer for their time, courtesy, and consideration shown you during the interview process. If you really like the organization and the people, and you want to stay in touch with individuals or be considered for future opportunities, this thank you email can be used to reiterate your continued interest in working in their organization and request that they get in touch with you the next time a job is opened. You can do this with a line as simple as, "I hope to be considered for other opportunities in the future." Maybe you add a paragraph. "Working for this organization is still a goal of mine, so I will continue to observe your job postings in the hope that someday I will be able to be a contributing member to your organization's continued success. Please do keep me in mind for future opportunities. I would be happy to hear from you then." A thank you note after a rejection can really make a positive final impression. And even if you did not get a job and you don't want to work at the organization, the employer may be useful to you in your network. After a job rejection, I would also reach out to your career services office. They're probably the first place to start. Your career services office is a place to discuss your interview experience, and they can answer questions on how to improve your interview skills. At any point in the interviewing process, your Career Services Office is the best resource for you for guidance on your next steps. Best of luck in your interviewing process and throughout your legal career.